Well, hello, everyone. If you are here for mastering your money with financial coaching, you are in the right place. We're going to give the first few minutes to folks to enter our chat here to get all set up. If you've been to one of these before, grab your snack, grab your coffee, depending on what time zone you're in. A little coffee might be helpful after lunch, a little snack before. I know we're also going to have some trivia in the chat hosted by Maddie, who's part of our team here on the other end of the live event. So keep an eye out for that. We're really excited to have everyone back here for our first 2025 virtual live event. Again, it's going to be Mastering Your Money with Financial Coaching, which we had around summertime last year with Bjorn Larson, who's no longer on our team, but we still are a peer of. So we're going to really hone in on crafting a plan with this one this time. And in a moment, I'll have our financial coaches here, Justin and Sam, introduce themselves. Let's see the Q&A. Maybe we have some chat happening. Oh, yeah. What are the 3 major credit bureaus? You're not typing, I am. Ooh, these are fun. They're very interactive. Looks like quite a few people got stuff right. We're still having folks trickle in here.
I see all 3 of them there. So the correct answers are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So give yourself a round of applause.
Very nice. Love some financial trivia.
I have another fun question I'm launching now.
Awesome. What is the average lifespan of an American $1 bill? I want to see what other people say.
If you could put a number, yep, like 26 years. So don't put years or months. That's a little cheating.
A little
I love it.
ambiguous.
Minutes in my pocket.
Oh, that's a funny one.
That's so
Oh, it's
true.
good. Seriously. Ugh.
Okay, the right answer is 5 years.
Ah, okay. 5 years.
So not very long.
No.
I have
Thank
another.
you, Maddie. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do one more.
one more and then we can get started.
What was the largest denomination of banknote ever issued in the USA? I love that these are anonymous. A lot of zeros.
I see the right answer up there, actually. It was $100,000. But fun fact, the $100,000 gold certificate was printed in 1934. It was never placed into circulation, meaning that the common employee or the common person couldn't use them, but it was only issued to Federal Reserve banks as a way to pay each other or pay the Federal Reserve Bank. Awesome. Well, thank you for
Interesting.
participating, everyone.
That was awesome. Thanks, Maddie.
Absolutely.
And with that, we're going to kick this one off. So, welcome everyone. Welcome back. Welcome new folks here. This is a virtual live event hosted by Life Money U, a financial well-being program provided by the credit union. And I'm here with some of my credit union colleagues, Sam Edwards and Justin Edgar, and they're going to introduce themselves. So, why don't Sam, you go first?
Hey guys, great to see you today. Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about some really cool topics today. My name is Sam Edwards. I've been with BCU for a little over 5 years now, and I have worked with both large financial institutions and smaller credit unions for more than a decade. So I've seen just about every situation that can come up, but I look forward to talking to you guys today.
Justin, why don't you go next?
Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. My name is Justin. I'm actually a branch experience manager based in our Dallas, Texas office. I've been with BCU almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in September, but overall, I've been in like the credit union world for over 20 years now. So super passionate about helping folks and, whether it's building a budget, working on your credit, like we're all on in the journey together. So looking forward to the chat.
Yeah, and both of these guests have been here before. So we're going to run with, again, Mastering Your Money with Financial Coaching. I am Danny Bushik, for those of you who don't remember, and I am a Life Money U program manager. I've been with the credit union myself for over 5 years, and I enjoy it very much, hence why I'm still here. So with that, we're going to actually toss a poll in the chat. The poll is going to help us steer the conversation today. So thank y'all for taking the time to join our virtual live event. And we're going to prioritize what you'd like to talk about chronologically. So go ahead, submit your vote there. You should see options about what topic you would like to focus on today. You can choose between boosting credit, crushing debt, and saving up for a big purchase. But don't worry, we will try to cover all of them and then answer questions at the end. So our first 30 minutes will be conversation led by us three, and then the last 15 minutes will be dedicated to your questions in the Q&A. Go ahead and take your vote there. Maddie, will it be able to show us the percentages so we can steer the conversation there with everyone?
I have the percentages on my end. So it looks like leading is saving up for a big purchase. In second
Okay,
place, we have crushing debt. And in third place, we have boosting credit.
awesome. Okay, let's give it another maybe 30 seconds. So if you haven't voted already, get your vote in, otherwise you'll miss out. And then Maddie will have you kind of repeat that and go from there. Okay, final 10 seconds. Maddie, is it looking pretty solid on your end as far as who's gonna take the lead
Yeah.
or what topic we're gonna start with? Cool. Is it saving for a big purchase still?
Yes, it's but not by much. Only it's only winning by 2%. So it looks like
Oh,
crushing debt and saving up for a big purchase are really big contenders. We only have 15% who voted for boosting credit. So that shows a lot about what matters to the people here today. And we do
of
have more than
course.
half of the of everyone joining us today who have responded to the poll. So I will finish it now.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for voting. And with that, we're going to start with saving up for a big purchase. So I'm going to direct kind of the first question to Sam here. But when it comes to a coaching appointment and your client asking about saving for a big purchase, where do we sort of start that conversation from the get-go, Sam?
Um, Usually I like to start with I usually like to start with awareness. I need you to be aware of your budget. So where does my money go? And I like to direct people to utilize financial tools for their spending. So built into our app, we actually have a spending analysis tool, which will tell you where your money goes per category. And so when people are looking for funds to start saving, I try to say, hey, what's your budget like? And a lot of times, you have that conversation, and people are like, I don't really know, I don't. It's whatever is at the whatever is the pipeline in my purchase history on my accounts. Usually, what my budget is. So I'm like, okay, let's take a look at it. And so I really like to start helping people analyze and being aware of their budget. Where does my money go? Where can I find funds that I can reallocate to this big purchase that I want to make? And then making goals too, but goals that are also realistic and time bound. We're not going to go save up probably for a brand new jet ski or something like that in one year or something like that. So you've got to make sure that those
Mhm.
are responsibly time bound and making sure that um, when you're looking for those funds, where can I cut back? Because there's got to be an ebb and flow of your funds. You got to make sure that you've got a good balance between Am I living life, and am I also putting money away so that I can, get to those bigger purchases? And at the same time, am I making sure that I'm paying down debt and being financially responsible so that I'm protecting myself in case
Hmm.
anything were to happen, or to be able to plan ahead. So there's a huge awareness factor that I like to talk about where your finances are and where they're going.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Justin, can you build on kind of that breaking down the budget, the awareness piece that Sam's talking through? After y'all do that, where do you go next with the conversation as far as crafting a plan for saving up for a big purchase?
Yeah, so most definitely, like Sam said, start with a budget, and I always tell people like if you don't have a budget, that's okay. Like that's what we're here for. Like let's talk about where do we even start? Because that can kind of be eye-opening just in itself. Making sure when you start listing everything out, kind of where you're at. Another fun thing that I like to do is literally just take 30 days, like track all your spending, see where your money's going. And then it's all about like making small changes, right? Like Sam said, we're not going to, everybody's situation's a little different. You're not necessarily going to save up that down payment for your home purchase in the next year, right? Like, is that really
Hmm.
a realistic goal? But yeah, I did the whole tracking for 30 days, and it's kind of eye opening. $6 here, $8 there. You really start to see like I didn't need to maybe go out for lunch 3 times last week. So
Yeah. And then learn
and
from it.
yeah, and then also like don't beat yourself up. Like it's not always going to be perfect. It's just about making small changes, creating those good habits.
Yeah. So it's funny you said making small changes. And I was thinking through too, like, how do folks go about seeking savings in these situations, right? So that big purchase might vary. It could be a home, it could be a car, it could be a jet ski, Sam. But how does someone go about kind of starting to save in small places rather than making those kind of drastic changes for themselves? Justin, why don't you continue with this one, seeking savings, and then Sam will piggyback.
Yeah, also what I like to do is talk to people about like our rainy day savings. So, just start small, as long as you have, whether that's $25 a paycheck, whether it's $25 a month, and then, set it and forget it. That old saying, it's so true. Like, through, your employer, a lot of times you can have multiple direct deposits. Through our app, you can actually set reoccurring transfers. And so, treat that savings just like you would, your electric bill, like, and just start there and then, increase over time.
Yeah. Sam, what would you add?
Yeah, like what Justin was saying, once you set it and forget it, once you create that budget, and that expectation that okay, these funds are allocated specifically to this savings account, just like a bill would be. You build that structure so that you don't have to sit there and think about, oh, I need to afford to save. It's already calculated into your budget.
Mm,
And another thing too, taking advantage of high yield savings or CDs or anything that may be available to you at the time, that's money that you can earn. A lot of people will have larger balance. I talked to a member today that had thousands of dollars that wasn't doing anything. And I'm like, well, you could earn. This is your opportunity cost of not just making these small steps. You're
mhm.
not really having to do anything specific that's hard. You just have to make sure that you make your money work smarter for you. And
Yeah.
another way to start, finding those nickels and dimes in your budget is to start really evaluating, like I was talking about earlier, when you're trying to figure out where your money's going. Sometimes your money goes further at different places. One of the things I like to talk to a lot of my members about is, okay, you've got a Verizon bill, cool. But if you were to switch over to this company, you could get the exact same service for half the price. Or,
Hmm.
finding those, and especially when you like want to bundle things. I'm a bundle king. I like to bundle anything you can. And okay, yeah, I pay a lot for Verizon, but Verizon's also got my Hulu bundled into it and my Disney Plus and my ESPN and all these things. And I started doing the math, and I'm like, okay, yeah, my cell phone bill is expensive, but it bundles all of these things into it. So just making your money work smarter, not harder, is a really good way to start finding those dollars and cents when you want to start putting money away. And in a lot of cases, people can put, I mean, I've helped people out with budgets, and we've found $100, $200 a month that was just not being spent wisely. Not that they weren't
Hmm.
being spent on essentials, but just not being spent the smartest way possible.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting. Sasha asked in the chat too, what do you do when you have made all the small changes you can possibly do? And I think Sam, you alluded to it there, but maybe it's looking in other places, Sasha. So I think this is a perfect transition to paying down debt because maybe it's figuring out lower interest rates or finding ways that you can have more savings to allocate in other places where you need it to work smarter for you, as Sam said. Do you guys have anything to add to that question for Sasha as far as doing everything you can possibly do?
Yeah, I can
Um,
definitely hop in there. One of the things too, like Sam talking about, like looking at your options, like I always tell people all the time, like shop around for like your car insurance, your home insurance every time you get those renewals, because here in Texas, like every time we get those, they're super expensive, right? So also not just thinking just about credit as well, but it's about like looking at other options. Where can I make some adjustments and possibly have a savings? Um, but yeah, and then also, looking at different like refinance options as well. So if you do have some credit card debt, maybe look at doing like a personal loan, because the credit card debt's going to be some of the most expensive debt that we carry. So definitely, always try to focus on that first, to try to save every little dollar you can. So
Yeah.
that's like where I like to start.
Yeah. So I guess going back to starting, right, with crafting a plan for paying down debt, is that similar to kind of breaking down the budget? Would you say it's a similar starting place, or where do those conversations usually begin when it comes to paying down debt? Sam, do you want to take this one?
yeah, it's kind of a transition. It's a good segue because when you're looking to save money, you look at sometimes at refinancing, and when you're looking to crush debt, there's so many ways that you can start your debt crushing journey. And I like to first look at your credit report. That's the biggest thing to be aware of. What is on my credit report, and what are things that I can do to improve my credit score? Because the better your credit score is, your credit score it doesn't necessarily determine if you're going to get approved or denied for a loan or financing or anything like that. But a lot of times it decides how much you're going to pay for interest on your accounts. So the better credit score you got, the less you're going to pay in interest in most cases. But there's a lot of cases where you can just recharacterize the type of debt you have. So if you've got credit cards that are maxed out and you're using 100% utilization, that really detracts a ton from your credit score and therefore puts you into a higher interest rate across the board on all of your accounts. If you can recharacterize that debt in some cases, just from credit cards to like a personal loan, maybe do like a debt consolidation loan or something like that, it will recharacterize those from the revolving lines of credit or the credit card bucket, basically, which accounts for about 26% of your credit score, and it puts it into that personal loan bucket. And so
Mm,
that's one of the fastest ways to change your credit score in a lot of cases, is to deplete that credit utilization bucket down to zero. Even though you're not really paying the debt off, you're just recharacterizing the debt from the revolving lines of credit to a personal loan on like a fixed payment type of
mm-hmm.
deal. Number one, you get it paid off in about, you can choose a term, 36, 48, 60 months and get it paid off a lot quicker. In some cases, you're also going to pay much, much, much less interest on it, but it also empties that bucket so that your utilization goes down. Your utilization is how much of your credit lines you're using. But when you can do that, you'll boost that credit score. And then when you boost the credit score, you can in turn get better interest rates across the board on your loans. And then all of your loan interests are coming down. And that's hundreds of
Hmm.
dollars a month in a lot of cases. And the cool thing about like the credit union here is that, we have a rate modification. So if you get a better credit score if you achieve a better credit score, we can go back into your loan, apply your new credit score to your loan, give you the new interest
Mm,
rate based upon your new credit score, and lower your monthly payment on the spot, within, 30 to 60 days
yeah.
after that score changes. So looking at strategy, credit strategy to pay off that debt is going to be really important. In that self-awareness of bringing down those bills.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I like to crush debt from let's get your credit score up and your interest rates down.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. Thank you, Sam. Justin, what would you add to that?
Yeah, no, Sam's exactly correct. Honestly, I was blown away whenever I came over to BCU. I was like, what do you mean? Like if I'm working with someone and they increase their credit score, pay down their debts, that we're just gonna give them a better interest rate. So that's an amazing benefit of just being a member here with the credit union.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you talk to me more, Justin, about kind of leveraging a 0% card? I know that's, transferring balances is a really big strategic, right, Sam, move that
Yep.
people make when it comes to paying down more debt more quickly. Walk me through kind of what it would take to kind of opt into a 0% card, Justin.
Yeah, so super simple, quick process. We get you pre-approved for the card. I always tell folks like bring in your last statement. Let's take a look at it, make sure we have all the correct information. Yeah, you do normally pay like a one-time like 3% balance transfer fee, but you're locking in that 0% for at least the next year. So everything that you're throwing away, throwing towards that credit card is being applied all to the principal balance. And the interest rates on the credit cards, they've really shot up over the last couple of years. We see some 20, 30, 35%. So that's a great way. I always tell members that I talk with, though, it's like you want to be careful, right? So once we pay that card off, do that balance transfer, be mindful, make sure we don't have, more spending on it, because then we've just made our situation worse, right? So just
Yeah.
little things like that to be mindful of as well.
Yeah. So, mindfulness, I love that. What are some mindful money moves you can practice while paying off debt? Because, of course, there's the stuff you're actionably doing to impact it in the moment, right? So, the budgeting, the configuring, that sort of plan. But what are the moves on the side, right, that make a big difference? So, the things that you're practicing, healthy habits. One thing I think of is, right, like not using the credit card if you're trying to pay off a certain amount of debt, depending on what balance it has. Are there any other sort of healthy money moves you would recommend someone practice while paying off debt? Sam, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, I like to really promote delayed gratification. So we live in an instant gratification. I mean, Amazon is beautiful. Love that company. But when they say, "Hey, you can get this at 4 a.m. in the morning," I'm like, before I even wake up, I've got a present on my doorstep for myself. I'm like, that's pretty good. And half the time I'll buy that. I'll pay more for that one over there, because I can open the front door in the morning. It's on the porch, but if I recommend to do delayed gratification. So when you are shopping around on Amazon or whatever that company is that you like to use, throw it in the cart, sign out of your account, and walk away. And leave it there for 3 or 4 days. Come back to it and then say, okay, did I need that? And it'll help you stop making those impulse buys. And so that's one way that me and my wife we'll throw things in the cart. If we're trying to save money, we'll throw things in the cart. We'll say, okay, well, we're going to wait till Saturday, and then we're going to reevaluate this and see, do we need everything in the cart? Um, and then a lot of times it gets deleted out or saved for later, but you know how that goes. But
I have a wish list myself.
yeah, the running wish list. And then the other thing that I like to do, and it saves money in a lot of cases, is that we buy all of our groceries online. So we use Walmart Plus for and get
Hmm.
free delivery. But the cool thing is that I'm not in the store and I'm not saying, "Wow, look, new flavor of Lay's potato chips, 2 bags in the cart, let's go." It's you buy what you need. You say, "Okay, I'm out of canned spinach. Let me go put that on the Walmart list right here on my app." And you don't have to do any of the impulse buys. You don't, and you save time too. And time in a lot of cases is money. It equates to money. So you can be doing other things in life too and having that better balance by just spending your money smarter by doing things like the online purchases or doing the delayed gratification or anything like that. That saves money and time all the way around. And time is money, and money is time in a lot of cases. So just practicing just small steps like that, just changing the way that you do business and you make purchases can make a big impact in your financial lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made, yeah, go
I
ahead, Justin.
agree. I agree. I get talking about that. Like I get wrapped up sometimes. Like I'm a big Costco fan, and so that could definitely bust the budget because you're
Hmm.
you're adding things that you might not need you necessarily need at the time. You're like, oh. The other thing too is like just keeping your why in front of you too as well. Just like why am I on this journey? Like what am I wanting to accomplish? So that's a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, what's that alternative cost, right? Of whatever you're saving up for. It could be more money toward whatever that big purchase is that our folks here on the call today are saving up for. Think about that and keep it top of mind when you're practicing some of these money moves. We had Tara in the chat ask, do you offer a new budget starting checklist? And I know, Tara, we have a budgeting worksheet. Sam, Justin, do either of you use our budgeting worksheet with coaching clients, or how do you go about kind of promoting a budget that works best? Because we're all different, right? Something works differently for everyone. Some of us are very digitally savvy. Others like a pen and notebook. Others love apps, right? There are so many app opportunities out there to help us organize and get a better grasp on our finances. How do you go about helping someone find kind of their best fit when it comes to budgeting?
Yeah, so
Justin, why don't
we've
you
got
go?
yeah, I'll take that one. I mean, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. You've got to figure out what's going to work for you. And what works for me, I like Excel, so I'm very particular. So
The sheets.
I usually like to send a couple different options. And like I said, it's just about figuring out what's going to work for you and that you're going to stick with it, right? Because if it's something too difficult and we're not, when I back in the day, I had a simple Word document that I would, each paycheck, what I needed to take care of. So it just evolves over time as well.
Yeah. Sam, what would
For
you say?
for me, I think that we live in a world of convenience. Like we're so used to convenience, and if it's not convenient, I'm not going to use it. So I usually will recommend, at least for my members, let's use the financial analysis tool or whatever your financial institution offers. But you need to have something that's going to break down your purchases, and it'll show you exactly where your money goes. And then from there, you can subcategorize. Okay, I spent 800 bucks on auto expenses this month, and then breaks it down. Oh, you did oil changes, and you did this, and you did this, and you did this, and you can start trending out what your expenses are going to be. Especially when it comes to things that change drastically, like utility bills during the year. Um, Somebody might look at December and say, okay, well, I spent 500 bucks for utilities in December. Well, December is usually pretty cold. It's not like a March or an April or an October, September kind of thing. So you can start trending out 6 months worth of um, costs for yourself as well. And the spending analysis tool will even tell you, hey, you know, relative to last month, you spent $200 more, $200 less in the same time period,
Mm,
which is really cool because you can say, okay, well, what changed? Was it utilities that changed, or was it, this unexpected expense that changed? And so you can start anticipating those bills coming up. So a lot of times I'll tell people, create. I try to pay your like for example, I recommend paying your insurances every 6 months. Do a 6 month premium, and then have that portion go into a specific savings account every 6 months, and then it's set it and forget it. You don't have to afford
hmm
your insurance, when it comes up every month. You can just say, okay, I've got an account that's already allocated to. So when we do budgets and spending analysis, we really go through and just really fine tooth comb, the strategy to it and the trends to it and what's going to change and what's not going to change. What are my constants? What are my variables? And once you can realize those and budget for them, that's when things become less complicated for my members.
Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome. I want to get to kind of just some closing up stuff, but remind our audience here that we have about 2 minutes before we're going to open up the Q&A. So start dropping in those questions. Anything you want us to expand on, dive deeper into, get your question in the chat now. As far as our topic today, mastering your money with financial coaching, crafting a plan, we've talked about mainly kind of getting started with a big purchase, crushing debt, and then also boosting your credit. I don't want you to have to pick any one area, but as far as this conversation today, I'll have Justin go first. But what's one kind of nugget of wisdom you would leave our folks with as far as getting started with coaching and crafting a plan?
Yep, just make that first appointment. We'll get going. And that's okay. Like I always tell people, like no, like if you've never done a budget, let's just get started. And then the other thing too is like if you haven't checked your credit, definitely take a look at your credit and let's come up with a plan to see where we can save you some more money.
Yeah. Sam, what about you?
Mine would be don't let your finances be intimidating. They are not. It is not an intimidating subject. It may feel debilitating where you're just like, I can't deal with this. Come to the table, can come to us. I can promise you, whatever your situation is, it is not the worst I've seen. and never feel embarrassed about it or anything. These are conversations that you need to have so that you can be financially successful, and they don't have to be, a conversation that's hard or uncomfortable. I mean, we can just sit here and chat like we're chatting right now, and you'll learn everything you need to know about your finances. I can tell you everything you probably need to know about your credit history and your goals and how to get there and create that roadmap. I mean, we can do it in 10 or 15 minutes, literally, in a lot of cases. So it doesn't have to be something that, and if you come to the table with no knowledge financially, that's okay. I will take you from wherever you start with your financial knowledge, and I will raise you up as far as I can, um, in terms of your financial knowledge and your financial ability. So just don't be afraid to set that appointment. Like Justin said, just take that leap, make that commitment, and let's grow and be financially successful together.
Yeah, I love it. I'm not seeing any questions, but I'm going to keep talking here because I love what we're talking about. As far as taking that first step, making it actionable, keeping it top of mind. I know, Justin, you said that. I think these are all great pieces of advice. Maybe routinely having some kind of financial wellness talk as part of your life. Life Money, you revived our podcast. I know Sam has already been a guest. Justin, I know you're in the pipe and you're coming on soon, right? So if you kind of fold into some financial wellness conversations as a regular part of whether it's your week, your month, what have you, that could be a really great way to just get yourself immersed in just hearing some of the topics that we're talking through and apply them almost subconsciously to your lifestyle. So everything from kind of utilizing that waitlist feature that Sam said, and maybe putting that sticky note on the fridge, reminding you about using all your groceries before heading to the store again. Little things make a really big difference. And I know that we're going to have our next live event in May talking through small ways to save. And I think that's going to be a great one. But again, for now, 14 minutes, we're here to talk through the Q&A. I'm not sure while we're waiting for folks to drop some questions, Justin and Sam, if there's anything else as far as kind of appointments this year. I'm thinking, right, bonus season, taxes, tax returns, or payments are around the corner, using that to either pay down more debt or maybe do something different. Is there anything, you're having these conversations now with people that folks are looking forward to as far as bonuses or tax returns or those sorts of conversations?
Yeah, we definitely have some, like Sam said earlier, is like if you are coming into some money, like you unexpected tax return, look at two different things. You can either look at tackling, adding it, bringing down some of that debt, or also making it work for you. Make some additional interest, like lock it into a CD. Start that emergency savings if you don't already have one. So
Hmm.
just try to make good money moves with it.
Yeah, Justin, before Sam, I want to pass it off to you, but you reminded
Mhm.
me. I know a member told us that she actually opens a CD early in the year and then uses what she accrues at the end for additional savings. So you can really, right, strategically, I know Sam, you said that, but strategically use your savings to plan ahead so that you can literally set it and forget it and know that it's working for you without you having to work for it. Sam, what would you add, I suppose, to that?
Well, this is the beginning of first quarter. Most people are getting their annual raises around this time. One thing that I like to recommend is, keep your standard of living the same. If you get a raise, take whatever that percentage is and just add that to savings. Make that an auto draft every paycheck into your savings account. That way your budget has not changed since last year. You're taking everything additional that you've earned this year and you're just putting that into a set it and forget it situation. So that's one way that you can strategize not to have to be impacted in terms of what your budget is, and not have to tighten the belt. Just take your excess and throw it over into your savings account.
Yeah. That also made me think of retirement too. If you're getting a bump in that, try to bump up your retirement, always keeping an eye on it. Maddie, I see there's a couple hand raised features. I saw Melissa raised her
Yeah.
hand. I was going to take her off mute. Do we want to try to do that?
We have to refresh the Q&A. That's why we haven't been seeing the questions come through. But
Got
I
it.
have some, so I could read them out loud for you guys. That's why I
Let's
raised
do
my
it.
hand.
Yay. I'm
Yeah.
just happy to hear our folks have been asking us questions because we're eager
Yeah.
waiting.
And I've been answering some in the chat in the Q&A, so apologies on that. They don't automatically refresh on our end. But do we need to be an account holder first to set up a financial coaching meeting?
No, you don't. That's something that you can take advantage of without having a membership. There are plenty of benefits to having the membership, but you do not. That is not a requirement to have that consultation with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing that, for answering that, Sam. And I will drop that link on how you could schedule that appointment in that queue question. And then I have another question from Angie. Is it better to transfer credit card balances to a new credit card or get a personal loan to pay those off? Sam or Justin, whoever would like to take that.
Yeah, so everybody's going to be a little bit different. One thing, like San had mentioned earlier, is you really want to look at like your credit utilization because that's a big driver of your credit score. So moving it over to another credit card might not be the best option. Might actually be better to turn it into a personal loan because that's going to drive down that utilization, which is in turn is going to drive up your credit score. So just kind of depends on the situation and kind of where you're at.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Um, I have another question from Whitney. Does lowering interest rates apply to HELOCs? I think it was when you guys were talking about asking for a lower rate or refinancing the rates. Sam, would you like to take that?
I'm trying to remember the correct answer. I don't know that you can do a rate modification on mortgage side, and I may be completely wrong or right on that one, but I can for sure check.
Yeah, we'll reach back out to Whitney for sure, Maddie. That's a great question, Whitney.
Absolutely. And to my knowledge, the HELOC interest rates vary depending on prime, but that standard rate of like what is added, you can only change it if you refinance it. That is my understanding. But we could definitely still reach back out. And then I can answer this one. Is BCU part of the United Health Group? And we are. We're co-branded, so we're United Health Group Credit Union on that end, but we are a part of United Health Group. So thank you for asking that, Tara. And then Alejandra asked, do we have to set up a direct deposit? How else can we get money into our accounts? Bank to bank transfer. I'm assuming, Alejandra, that you're asking directly to BCU, and I'll let Edgar take this question.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of different ways to be able to get money into your accounts. Obviously, direct deposit. You can actually add external accounts within our online banking as well. So if you do have, other financial institutions that you're using, you can easily transfer money that way. We also have a massive network of ATMs that we're a part of. So you can actually find local ATMs in your area where you can actually deposit as well. And then, of course, even like through our app, you can actually deposit checks directly through the mobile app.
Absolutely. Sandra said it was difficult to get in, and we do apologize. I know that there was some technical difficulties on our end, but this will be available. All the recording will be available and sent out to everyone who registered on either link. So thank you for asking that, Sandra. And then I have another question. Are the pay overtime services for credit cards worth it? It comes with fees, but no interest. I'm assuming those third party or programs that claim to be like financial coaching, but then it's a credit card paying off service. I know I've seen them before. And if we don't know the answer, we could reach out back to the person who asked as well.
I see those all the time, and I question every single one of them because so many times I see where these companies will you'll pay a fee and you'll sign a limited power of attorney where they act on your behalf, and basically they're doing the exact same things that you guys could do. They're requesting a lowered interest, but a lot of times they've I see them tell my members don't stop paying your credit cards, and you pay that company, and they kind of put your payments into like an escrow account basically where they're holding those funds, and then they make payments on your behalf. But in the meantime, you've gone delinquent on all of these credit cards. So I would be super careful and cautious about what is a legitimate version of those types of companies and what is one that's just taking your money and taking advantage of you. Come to us first and find out, see if you've got solutions with us first before you even go that route. I consider that route, in my opinion, to be a last resort.
Yes. Thank you, Sam, for answering that. I did have a close friend who went and used one of the services, and the fees are astronomical. It's I have never seen it be worth it. So that's really good advice to maybe reach out to someone before taking that as your initial step. I have another question from Alejandro. What introductory offers do you offer? What's the difference between a power earner and a super power earner?
I'm assuming, is that referring to like the Power Plus checking? I'm assuming that
I
we're
would
referring
assume so,
to. Okay.
yes. Hmm.
Yeah, the two different tiers. Basically, it is based on the direct deposit amount that your account receives each month, and also the number of transactions. So, having at least 3,000 a month direct deposit with at least 30 transactions and being enrolled in electronic statements, you can actually earn up to 4% just on your checking account with us.
That's a good point. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then I have another question. Other than 401k, what things should be considered when trying to retire in the next 5 years? Sam, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a ton of different factors, and it depends on your age. Are you ready for retirement? What kind of debt do you have? Can you maintain that debt throughout retirement? What is the performance of your 401k? Are you in, what kind of accounts are you in? Are you in targeted accounts? Are you in, bonds and shares or anything like that? So the best way to know exactly what your situation is to have a conversation with our wealth advisor team so they can take a look at what your exact situation is. When you come to the table, you need to, know all of the balances that you have in your accounts and what your debts are and what your expected medical bills are going to be. And then we can give you a really good ballpark idea of, hey, when can you realistically retire?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And I also wanted to put a small plug in here that we do have a wealth advisors program at BCU. So feel free to check out our website for more information on that. We have more questions about the Power Plus checking account. I am going to direct that everyone go to our Q&A portion. Sam's and Justin's contact information is there at any and all related questions related to Power Plus checking, since we're running up on time. If you could just direct them to them, they will be able to answer those more thoroughly. And then there's another question. Is there links or materials that you can share that we can read? I will let Danny take this one, since I know that you have a great newsletter.
Yes. So if you subscribe to Life Money U, you'll automatically get our monthly newsletter where we talk about relevant topics. Last month, couples and money managing with your partner. This month, I'm blanking, but anywho, relevant topics that are happening. I think bonus and tax return is right around the corner too. How you can allocate those kind of extra earnings is what we're calling it. We also have a blog, so visit lifemoneyu.com. Every 2 weeks, we post a new blog. We even ghostwrite with folks like Sam and Justin, other people as part of the credit union who have expertise in their arena. We also have a financial learning center. So if you like reading, there are so many articles about so many different financial topics, probably every single one you could imagine, as well as courses, quizzes, videos. I digress. So many resources. So be sure to check that out.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, I have another question. It says, I am unable to set up a finance meeting using the website. It is showing I have selected to auto assign a BCU rep. Anna, if you could reach out to either Sam or Justin, they would be more than happy to assist you. So if any of you all are having issues with that, please feel free to reach out. I know that I tested the link right before I joined and it was working, but if you are having any issues whatsoever, both of these lovely presenters are certified financial coaches, so I know that they'd be more than happy to help you with that. I see a comment. It says, "What I'm hearing is that I should not go on vacation with bonus money." LOL. Sometimes it's nice to treat yourself, but make sure that you are, you know, crossing your T's and dotting your I's before you do that. And then I do see a few more questions. Particularly about the budgeting sheet available. I have shared the link a few times as well, but if you visit bcu.org and then in the search portion, you put in budget, it will take you directly to our budget sheets that you can use. I've also shared the link for our Money Tracks app. That is a great resource for anyone to be able to manage their finances virtually. So if you don't like the idea of talking to someone, I've said this over and over again, I know we're the day of age of ordering food and then putting deliver and leave at door. If you don't want to have Justin or Sam be your financial accountability buddy, you can use the Money Tracks app, which is your virtual financial accountability buddy as well. So we do have those two options. So again, if you are looking for a budget sheet, visit bcu.org and then type in budget in the search option. We are running up on time, so if we didn't get to your question again, please feel free to reach out to Sam or Justin directly, and they'd be more than happy to direct you to the right place. We will be sharing the recording with anybody who registered, so if you were not able to join on time, we will be sharing this with anybody, or if you know someone who had a difficult time even joining, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to share that recording with them. And I'll hand it back to Danny for closing remarks.
Yeah. So I'm so happy you brought up Money Tracks. Again, this is a mobile app available to folks who aren't already members because a lot of our solutions in that app are already folded into our digital banking with the credit union. But again, Money Tracks, if you're not a member, you want to get a taste of what we can offer, download Money Tracks. As Maddie said, you get free credit score reporting there. What's cool is that unlike Credit Karma, we don't sell your data to third parties. So we have a very secure free credit reporting tool. We also have a schedule where you can make time with your own financial coach. We have an organizer where you can organize all of your financial documents. And then, as Maddie said, a tracking tool where you can track your spending and really get a hold on breaking down your budget, like Sam and Justin have alluded to many times on this call. But we are at time. So thank you everyone for making time to come to our virtual live event. Thank you, Sam and Justin, for coming back and joining us on this call today. And we hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Danny.
Bye.
Everyone.